In this video, I'm going to be walking through exactly how I'm going to be using Manus to cut my fulfillment work when we set up a client from 1 week down to 1 day. Now, this is going to be major because it means that we can cut the time it takes for a client to actually get a result and build the assets that we need. All the manual work that I typically used to do in a very, very short amount of time. Now, this is the first time I'm doing this with Agentic AI. I'm going to walk you through the process of how I'm creating this, and how I'm going to get my team to leverage using this for the client too, right? So first, you're going to need what I'm going to be using to be doing this is SOPs and processes within my business that we're following, documented prompts, and then how to turn these SOPs into skills with AI. And I'm then going to show you exactly how to use those skills to actually generate the assets for the business, right? Now, I'm working with service-based and education business in this example specifically. We just onboarded a client called Enter Tech. It's a tech program. I'm helping people transition into tech sales. Now, if you're a service-based business or you're an agency owner, right, and you really want to cut down your fulfillment work, or you just want to be able to do this yourself without relying on an agency or relying on external people to do the work, this is going to be extremely valuable for you. So pay attention. I'm going to walk through this together, right? So first skill I'm going to give is a VSL script, right? So I'm going to take one from one of my mentors, Mr. Jeremy Haynes over here, right? And what I'm going to do is just download this as a file, right? I'm going to download this as a file and then upload it to create the skill. So first I'm going to go into Manus AI. So you're going to say, hey, I want to create a new skill. So you can open up, I've already started doing this with a previous one, so I'm going to do it with this one. Hey, I want to create a new skill. For creating VSL. The first one we're going to be doing is a VSL. Let's go over here. Right, VSL script for writing video sales letters. Let's go in here. Okay, so it's asking me, okay, do you have an SOP document prompt you'd like to use as the foundation? If so, share it and I'll structure the skill around it. What should the final output be? A VSL script, a Google Doc, a Google Doc or final slide deck or something else, right? And then what name would you like for this skill? So number one, use the document so you can see this here, and then I'm going to use this document, boom, over here and paste it in here. Okay, number two, what should the final output be? I'm going to put it as a Google Doc. I'm going to put it as a VSL, name is going to be VSL script. Right. And then I'm waiting for it to upload now. Once it's uploaded, and then we're going to upload this into here. And then Manus is going to go in and actually formulate this into a skill. Now, very, very important that you have clear documentation within your business already on SOPs, because for you to create the skill is going to follow a specific process. So you need to have this specific process mapped out in your exact business of exactly A to Z, what you do to complete the work. Everything can't live in your head, right? It has to be taken out of your head and put into clear documents that someone else can follow. And then once that documentation is clear, because if you do the upfront work in actually creating the documentation and making it super clear, then when you put it into AI, it can follow that process almost as close as possible to what you do it manually, right? So the more things you can get out, the more information you can get out of your head of exactly what process you follow, and take it out of your head or out of your subconscious into a conscious action, and then map out all the steps. The better that you do that initial work, the better this is going to create, right? So we've got the VSL build out here, and I got all the steps to actually building out the VSL when we onboard a client. So this is one of our client setup. One of the things that we do for the client setup, right? First, we create their specific knowledge base. We then have all the email automation set up. Yeah, all the email automations and everything set up, and then the next thing is actually the VSL build out. So this is the next stage in the process, right? And I'm going to be walking you through it here. Cool. So we've gone through the things of updating the offer, right? The offer needs updating. So this is what the offer is at now. It's already in the document I've uploaded to the specific client knowledge base, right? So while this is creating this, you can see here I have this client folder with all the key information about that client all in here. So that was the first part of that process, right? AI, because once you have once you have all the client's knowledge, like all the information about the client in a specific knowledge base, right? This becomes your system for creating any asset going forward, and for it to be very contextual to the business, because the AI is going to remember more of the information than you even will, right? So there's that's why the AI agents are set up. And then we have the email automations. This is just part of that automations process that makes all the other processes work. And then now we're creating the sales and the trust assets to actually go live, so we can actually launch ads to this, right? So previously I was using Gemini, but now I'm using Manus. Now the reason why I'm choosing Manus is because it's a credit-based LLM. So it's going to bias to using your credit. So it's going to read everything, all the documentation that you use. Yes, it's going to build more credits, but it's going to have much more better and specific outputs to what you input in. Because when you're using Claude, when you're using Gemini, like I found out, and they're like just on, a paid plan, is going to bias to its own efficiency. Well, Manus has an incentive to go through all the documentation that you give it, because it's going to use all the credits, right? It's going to use more of your credits, because that's how they charge you. So boom, you can see it here. So VSL script has been created and validated, right? Right name. How it works: when triggered, it asks for all the client contacts. So brand name, price, offer details, audience, credentials, testimonials, right, cool. Determines short form or long form. It writes the full VSL script into a 9 framework from Jeremy Haynes SOP, then generates the doc, uploads it to a Google Doc, right? So then the 9-step VSL framework: credibility, sell the opportunity, present the offer, handle objections, qualify the audience, call to action, next steps, testimonials, and then reiterate value, right? Cool. Key rules baked in: always disclose the price, no face scarcity, no inflated value stacking, etc. Right? Boom. And then what I'm going to do is just add this to my skills. Right? So literally it's that easy. Then now I've added this to my skill. Now I can now use this, right? Use skills. When I update this, boom, boom, boom. When I update this, you're going to see the skill is actually uploaded in there. So you can see recent skills, boom, VSL scripter, right? Now, once you've done this once, you can just do that pretty much the same for this as well. So I've been learning a lot from Mr. JH over here, right? So credit where it's due. I'm ripping this literally directly from him. Got a lot of value in that. And then I'm going to be like, okay, do this for another skill I want to create for the confirmation. The confirmation page after people book in or call from the VSL landing. After people know from the VSL. Then it's going to ask me I should have probably just, okay, do I have an SOP and document for this? So it's gonna literally ask you, right, a thank you page, a video, pre-call homework, questionnaire, right, cool. And then now, since I've downloaded that, I'm gonna put this into here. So one, use the SOP attached. Number 2, what should the confirmation page include? Oh, I said for creating a confirmation page, right? Now, okay, I don't want it to create a page. Wrong. Not a page. This not a building. Okay, I'm telling it, okay, I want it to be literally just for a video, right? Got it. Video script that plays after someone books in a VSL. A few more questions. Do you have a document for this? Yes. Yes, use the documentation attached. Boom. There's also another really good one that I want to attach to this as well. So I've got 2 SOPs. Now, isn't it great that we live in a generation now you can just consume information, but you can get AI to consume that information for you as well and put it into skills into an AI after consuming the information. Like, you can literally just leverage all these courses, all this stuff, instead of like the hard part of all of this stuff was actually implementing this stuff and having the skill and experience to do it. Now you can just get AI to do it, right? It's amazing, right? So what should I'll put all the above because we wanted to cover all of these things basically. What would you like the name to be? Confirmation video script. Yes. Boom. And now it's going to make me another skill. It's going to create me another skill that I can use. Now I can build out the VSL and the confirmation page, right? And then I can even get this to turn this into a whole presentation for me as well, right? And then, yeah. Okay, add clients, screenshots, screenshot, add assets, screenshot videos, boom, boom, boom. Send to clients Discord. Right. So, yeah. Then this script that is going to build me out, and then going to put into Gamma to actually just create me a whole presentation bit of it as well. It's amazing what you can do with these things right now, because we live in such an age where you can leverage information, not just through just consuming it, but leveraging AI to use that information to do the work for you as well. Like, this is how you can cut down your processes and just put in more output more than anyone else. Like, this is the game. So I'm waiting for this to actually create me the skill. Right, and the great thing about this as well, you can download these skills and then take it into other AI platforms like Claude, like Gemini, etc. You could take it into other AI platforms as well. So these skills with your agents are also transferable. It's something that you can download and move across. Like, it's insane. but waiting for this to build out exactly what I need for the documentation for the skill for actually creating these assets, and then I'm going to get it to actually create the assets itself, right? So right now, what stage are we on? Okay, so we've done these two skills. And then the great thing, you know, one of the things I've also struggled with in the past is how to turn creative processes into something that is repeatable, right? Because it's nuance, right? It's not like A to Z, because it's slightly different each time. So what I've got with these founder story frameworks, right, we found is there's a ton of there's consistent conversion assets that work really well to convert people, to build trust, etc. Especially when you're doing lead gen or you're selling a service, something that's, you know, high ticket, where someone requires a lot more thought, or, you know, it's a lot more risk for someone to invest into that service. They need more trust and they need more belief in what you have to offer, right? So your advertising is actually the last thing that we focus on. The reason why is because even when you have attention, it's what you do with it that also matters as well, right? It's not just about getting attention, it's also how you actually convert that attention to. So what we can do specifically with this, right, I'm turning my creative processes into frameworks that's now repeatable. So one of the main frameworks that we use is a founder story. A founder story, literally, like, it collapses the time it takes for someone to know, like, and trust you in a very short amount of time. You can do that within a 10 to 30 minute video, right? Because how do you get a stranger on Monday wiring us over $5,000 on a Tuesday, right? When's the last time you gave $5,000 to a stranger? It doesn't happen, right? But what we're trying to do with a lot of these assets is collapse the time it takes for someone to know, like, and trust you, right? Now, if I can watch a video that just covers your whole story, you're no longer a stranger to me anymore. I have a lot more trust and belief into, you know, I can be pre-framed and convinced that you're a trustworthy person, you're an authority, enough so for me to wire you, send you thousands of dollars, right? I've seen this happen multiple times, me doing it and then doing this with clients too. So I'm taking all of these processes that we're doing in terms of creating these assets and all the creative work that I used to struggle with, and then I used AI to break it down. I put all of these videos into Google AI Studio. Side note, yeah, I put all of these videos, or, like, for example, my founder story videos that I helped script out for clients over the past years, put it in completely different industries. So I've worked with e-com clients, I've worked with service-based businesses, I've worked with info product businesses, pretty much work with almost every single industry. Like, every time a client comes to me, sometimes they're in completely different industries, right? There's not that much consistency in the type of clients. I'll say a lot of the times it's something completely brand new. So I've made these assets in multiple different industries and it works. I've seen what works consistently no matter what you're selling. And something like a founder story is one of those things, right? Is one of those things, because I've done this for a skincare brand. It was their winning ad, made over $350,000, that ad alone, right? I've done it for a service-based businesses, placing VAs into businesses to help handle the operations, completely different things, right? And I've taken these assets, put it into Google AI Studio over here, and I told it, maybe see in my history, I told it to just, like, find a consistency between all of this, find a consistency between all of these videos, right? And, you know, yeah, find a framework and the consistency into all of these videos, and actually just put it into a framework and a prompt that I can use so it's repeatable, right? And it's just done it for me. Like, I don't even have to do a lot of the thinking work to actually break this down of, like, exactly what I'm doing. The AI can analyze it and then break it down for me, and then turn it into a prompt that I'm going to use to codify it so that we can do this repeatedly, and the AI can actually just do this work for me now going forward, right? Yeah, but you can see here, boom. Right, got it here. And then I'm gonna add this to my skills. So I'm just building these skills for these agents with all the things that I used to do, right? And then you can see this over here, right? Found the story framework, and then short form and long form, something I can do later on. But I actually want to work in terms of actually creating these assets with you, like live, right? Now, once you've got a lot of stuff in your knowledge base and you've created these skills, you don't need a super complicated prompt anymore to get really good outputs. You can just tell it to do shit and the outputs are going to be amazing. I'm going to show you I'm going to show you how with this, because these skills already have the prompts. The skill already has the prompts, right? So it's just repeatable. You don't have to make a super long prompt anymore. The skill already has the prompts. And if you're using if you're using a folder with a knowledge base, so it has memory, it already memorized everything. So it already knows all the information and context around your business. So this is how you can get really amazing outputs without you being like some prompt master or engineer or anything. You can literally just tell it, hey, write me a VSL script, and it's going to do it. And I'm literally going to show you in this video. But yeah, really good idea. If you have any things that are winning videos, whether that's been your content or emails or anything that's consistently worked for you, I highly recommend just putting that into AI and telling the AI to break it down so you can make it repeatable, right? Like, you want to repeat successful actions as much as possible. Instead of searching for new actions all the time, big lesson I've learned is just repeat the same thing that's worked, but just do it at a bigger scale, right? Do what works more than what doesn't. Like, it's a foundational rule, right? So boom, now I'm in the clients folder. I can tell it, hey, I'm going to use the skill that I just made. This one says scripter. The other one says VSL confirmation video script. I might need to change the wording on that, but VSL. So create me a VSL. Enter. Enter tech. Using all the context in your knowledge. So I'm using a skill. I'm telling it to create a VSL for Enter using all the context in your knowledge base files. Boom. That's all I need to do. And then just watch this. It's going to create a whole beautiful VSL for me, right? And then it's loading the skill that I just made, and it's going to create me the whole VSL script. Now, this is the power of having AI tools, because this stuff, it would literally take days for you to do in the past. All this copywriting, all of this stuff used to take days. Now, I can just get AI, fill it up with all the knowledge from the people that are at the top of the industry, right? There are people that are so successful at what they do, that have documented exactly what they do. And you don't have to spend hours and hours going through all that. That's going to take you so much time. You can just download that, put it into AI, get it to do it, and then put it into an agentic AI. So instead of you just prompted it, now this thing can just do the work for you. Now this is going to literally just create the VSL for me, right? And we're going to see the output later on, all right? But I'll pause this video. This is going to take a little minute, and then connect with you once it's actually made all of these assets for me. Right, and then now it's literally created me the VSL, just like that. Now I can see it over here. Now it's got all the everything in terms of the target audience, right? So, and then what I'm going to do based off this is actually then I can put this into Gemini. I can put this into, not Gemini, I can put this into a Gamma doc, and then it will literally just create, the presentation for me. Now, before I do that though, I'm going to modify what's on here. I'm going to yeah, I'm gonna modify basically yeah, what is on here basically, and just change it around, because I'm not gonna rely completely on AI to do it. I'm just gonna modify it to my liking basically, right? But you can see how it's created the asset for me, just like this, right? And then boom, I've got a VSL script that I can use straight away. Now, let me pull out my other skill. Boom. And I'm gonna get it to do my confirmation video as well, right? And once you've done your research, to where like before I do anything, right? One of the first things I do was a market research. Like if you look into the skills that I created first, right, is a market research skill. So you can see it here, BSM deep research. So now once I've got all the research done, so you can see here, BSM deep research. Then you can see here, once I got all the research done, right, I put a massive prompt. The same thing that we go through to actually create, that we have to do manually in terms of researching a client, right? Because that's one of the most important things, the foundational things that you need to do to be able to actually create really good ads content that's actually going to lead to conversions. Is for you to do your research on them, right? I made that into an initial skill. It created the document for me. I uploaded that back into the client's knowledge base, right? You can see it over here. I uploaded it back into the client's knowledge base, and it made it into a dossier for me over here. Boom. Now I've got all the context around the client because they filled out that questionnaire. I've also done all the market research for the client. And then when I'm using this skill to create me a VSL and create me confirmation video assets, it's pretty much 99, like 90, at least 90 to 95% of the way there. I just need to modify a few things, and it just does all the work completely. Like this is a 30-minute video. I've made assets that usually would take me literal hours and hours to do, and typically actually days, because I have to go through it and go through it again, proofread it, see what I need to get changed. It's literally just done it for me in a couple in a few minutes, or less than 30 minutes as I'm talking, as I'm walking you through this video. So now we've got the confirmation video scripts over here. Boom. Right. Boom. And it's literally just got that process just dialed in. Then it's got the breakout video scripts as well. Why does it cost this much? What if I don't get a job? Do I need tech experience or coding skills, right? All pulled from the research I've already done into the market, into the industry. Made all of this for me right out the gate. Then all I need to do is just send this off for this to be created, or put this into an actual presentation, right? But I could even, it's gonna eat up my credits, but I could even, with this, tell it to make me a presentation. But right now we're on little credits, right? But look, it's already made these assets for me. All I need to do is just modify them a little bit, then it's ready to go. And it did not take me long at all, right? And I'll do this for every single process within our business as well. For emails, I'm literally going to be making these skills for email copywriting, everything, so that we can just, once we onboard a client, boom, these assets are created within hours. It doesn't take us days, literally within hours, and we can just create everything and put it into AI for it to do all of the work. Like this is the time that we live in right now. It's incredible what you can do with all these tools. But that's basically a breakdown of how I'm using AI to cut down my fulfillment work, taking some of the creative processes, all the processes that we have, and turning it into skills, making all the context around the client's business, and then using those skills along with the context around their business and all the research that you've done to make really contextual and really great information as well, right? A lot of the times the AI will probably, if you don't have that much marketing experience, right, is gonna create anything better than you would yourself, right? So it's literally like an amazing situation, and then you can create assets like an actual professional as well, because you're leveraging the professionals' information and their processes and their documentation to create all of this stuff. But yeah, hope you found that extremely valuable. I do have, if you want like the prompts that I used into a lot of, to create a lot of these skills and everything, then just, you know, shoot me a DM below. I'll be more than happy to help you. If you're service-based or education businesses looking for marketing help, not just marketing help, but sales help as well, just like a whole breakdown of the marketing sales process in your business and how you can get more customers and leads, then yeah, look below, shoot me a message on Instagram and I'll respond to you and can take it from there. Apart from that, if you found this video valuable, like, comment, subscribe, all the shebang, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.